Mic check 1, 2, 3.
What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Hey, Sherry.
Oh, you're muted there, partner.
Hello, I made it. It's a crazy day running from listing to listing here, you know?
Hey.
That's great, though.
Are you at the same place you were last week?
No, this is a different caribou.
I like the taste.
Like that.
I need to go.
Dude, what's going on?
Well, I do a Christmas toy drive every year. My literally acre and a half lot is right now. Gosh, I'll add a picture. You guys can see it at night. It's crazy. I have a 15-foot ornament. Like
That's new.
It's new. Yeah, it's new. Just got it yesterday, actually. Put it up. It's 15-foot huge, 15 by 15 ornament, massive. And it's in the middle of my yard, but it's like we have a walk of lights. And so our goal is to get 1,000 toys for Dale's Children's Hospital this year. And I honestly, I don't even know what to anticipate, because last year when, on Facebook, it says interested. And I think we had around 350 people that said they were interested in coming, which was like, great. All right. We're over 1,500 people now. So I'm literally like freaking out a little bit of being like, all right, this is a little too much. But we'll just see how it plays out. I don't know. 1,500 people coming at 6 p.m. I hope the
traffic is going to be nuts.
It'll be a good problem. It's a blessing. Awesome.
Yeah.
You're doing a good thing.
Well, I just make the announcement. Only the first 300 get cookies. Just have to have the money.
Everybody gets a cookie.
Everybody gets.
You're gonna be like, listen, we just gave away all of these. Just like people just be coming in here being brisket after brisket. You're like, we lost tons of money last month. But you know what? Here's a cool fact. Do you know that statistically, giving gift cards away, people buying gift cards, or you just giving gift cards away, typically only 10% of them get redeemed.
Yeah.
And so it's like the best investment for a company to allow gift cards or give anything out, because only 10% of them get redeemed. But it sounds so nice. So when people are like, I would say the only one I would probably not true would be Amazon. I feel like 90% of the people are like, I'm buying something. I'm buying something. It's too easy. I don't gotta go nowhere when it comes to me. But yeah, so yeah, 10% of all gift cards ever given, or coupons or anything like that for free stuff, doesn't even get redeemed. So people are like, dang, I can't give, gosh, what if I give 1,000 of those away? I can't do 1,000 free sandwiches. You're like, don't worry about it. You're gonna have to do 100.
Yeah.
But how many people spoke about it? So,
well, I ran into that actually at Dickies this week, because when you sell a gift card, you don't get credit for it, only when they redeem it. So where's the ones that get sold that don't get redeemed go to? The house.
That's right.
So it's always sometimes good to be the franchisor than the franchisee. So you get the actual undetermined money. It's also just, like state taxes, the ones that don't get collected. Right? Awesome. Like, who gets that?
That's cool. So it's like only when you could do as many gift cards and you get that money.
If I sell them $1,000 in gift cards and they redeem 100, 900 goes to Dickies franchise.
Oh, got it. So you need them to redeem it.
We need them to redeem it, but you're right. 10% redeem it, and it's like, where's the rest of the money go? So
yeah, Dickies is just printing it. They're just like, it's just liquid air, liquid money.
Yeah.
Just in the air. All right, man. Well, we appreciate you guys. I know it's like getting crazy. This is gonna be the last one that we do until the end. Beginning of the year, mostly because a lot of people are going to be out, but also we have a lot of things that we're working on that I just told Corey I had things that I'm working on that you guys don't know, and Corey's the only one that know. I haven't even told my wife.
Well,
which is actually a pretty big deal in my eyes.
Yeah,
in my eyes, it's a pretty big deal, and I'm just like, all right, I don't want to jinx anything.
I'm a good-looking dude. I mean,
yeah, I was like,
Yeah. So should we break some of that news and talk about kind of a little bit of what's coming on?
We can. Let's talk about a little bit kind of moving forward of where we're looking as far as the company, and it's just because we have you guys on here, and eventually this is going to be not just BizBroker Plus people, which is the goal. The goal is to make this into something that we were truly not just we want to grow the company, but we also want to make a dent in the actual industry
Mhm.
because I've seen it, you've seen it, is that there's so many really crappy like biz brokers out there.
Brokerages, firms, all of it.
What did you just say?
Brokerages and firms. Yeah, not just brokers.
I thought you said something way different.
No, no, no.
Broker.
Broker.
Never mind. You spaced it too much.
Yeah, I do that sometimes.
Broker jizz.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what did you call them? So yeah, there's a lot of bad, and especially I've talked to so many people that are like brokers that won't do anything under 5 million. And I think there's such an opportunity for change in this business. And so eventually this mastermind won't be just biz broker plus brokers. It's going to be from any broker that wants to join is really going to be the thing. And we're moving towards, more of a paid model for the reason is, being part of BizBroker Plus, you're obviously going to get a lot cheaper because we want you guys to succeed more. There's also going to be some massive changes to our caps, massive, like things that we've sat down and we said, hey, well, what does this do? What is the main purpose of this? And I've talked to multiple people of you all and definitely crunched numbers and really thought about like future and the huge vision of like what we're really trying to do. And which is one reason why we're starting to charge monthly. We're going to start charging monthly. And that's one way that we're able to do that is that we're like, would I rather say, hey, let's pay monthly and then lower the cap significantly, that it's like, this is stupid. Like, this is like, how are you guys making money? And it's like, well, we want to invest in the people, not just in the industry, not just be like, hey, I want you guys to sell so we can make a crap ton of money. Like, that doesn't get me excited about.
Yeah.
I just don't get excited about that stuff. Like money's money. So there's that. So I don't know which one you want to dive into for those ones you want to dive into that. Let's dive into why we're charging.
Well, yeah, I think there's a story real quick to add on the cat part. I was walking the dog yesterday and there's this realtor that lives on the street from me. And he was like, yeah, I'm actually I don't have the listing, but there's a house for sale right across from the street, but I wanted to take a video to all my potential clients and send it to him. He was like, man, I haven't sold a house in 2 months. Like, and so I was like, you want to check this out. And literally right then and there, we went on the phone, checked out BizBroker Plus, and then we met for coffee that afternoon. That's how serious he was. And it's the point I want to break is, as we adjust these caps to make them to where it's so equitable for you to build your own business and sell your own business brokerage firm, whatever you want to call it, depending on what state you're in, then you have the opportunity to do that. And these people out there, it took one conversation to go into the business brokerage world. And I'm that confident they will get a listing within 30 days by just simply following the recipe. And so for me, it's, we made these adjustments based off our own personal experience working with business owners and brokers ourselves. And so I think we should honestly start with, talk about biz by sell a little bit and why the fees, all those different things that come with it. But I think we should talk about in-house people first, and then we'll talk about what's going to happen going forward.
So what fees are for biz by sell?
Yeah, just like that, like what's encompassing to why we're changing our fees going forward for external, and you guys are considered internal right now, just so you know. Ryan and Sherry, they're on the call. External is going to be going forward. But yeah, I think we should talk about internal.
I think that we truly said, hey, from August, the last quarter, which is why we didn't really discuss it, but it's just our soft launch. Okay, let's figure this thing out. Let's get some brokers, because there's no way for us to figure out actually how this is going to work by ourselves. Right. And so we figured out our structure, and we said we were willing to pivot when the pivot needed to be pivoted. Like, we just didn't know what that was. Right. And so let's get people, and we found a lot of things. And so I appreciate everybody just being aware that that we're building something that we're trying to not only just build like you all up, we're trying to build a company that actually is lasting power and is going to change. Like I've told Corey, like, I don't like, how much, what's the goal? Like, how much money? And I was like, it's not not the money. I want to be in a situation, which is big, hairy, audacious goal, that if I'm sitting in front of Congress and they're going, okay, well, we probably need to regulate this because you guys are just going crazy with business broker, right? Like that's how much, there's not regulations around it in 33 states, right? And so the goal would be really to highlight this and let it not just be about real estate, being real estate's the go-to, but really like business brokering is awesome. Like I love it, and so we want to change that, one. So appreciate that. So two, now where we're at with this is we see that we wanted to give everything to everybody at the beginning because we wanted, for one, you pay to test things. Rarely are people ever going to pay you every time. Rarely do people ever. JJ's come boot JJ in. So rarely in any situation are you gonna, let's just say you have a Coca-Cola. You have a new soda, you're gonna come up and you say, hey, I want to have a focus group on this. Is that going to be a free focus group? No, you're going to have to pay people no matter what. And so this was so we were willing to say, hey, we're going to front the biz buy sell. We're going to front setting up a whole system. We're going to front our time, right? Like all this things, taking it away from other things that we're doing, and really front everything we can. And put zero on and say, hey, listen, it's free to come on, because we were willing to put our money where our mouth was at the beginning and say, hey, we're going to pay for this because we think that we need to pay for the testing. We don't need you guys to be part of it. Like, hey, yeah, here's it's going to be $100 to join, and we're testing this. So we're going to figure this thing out. Right. And so now I think we've got to the point and we realize so much in the last quarter.
100%.
So much. And so much so that, one, we realized, okay, what does it mean to be a business broker? What does it mean to be a business firm, brokering firm? We're not a brokerage, we're a firm, which is a huge difference. And then so now it's like, okay, I believe it's time to pivot for our company, but also we'd be like, this is actually what the brokers need.
Sure.
This is truly what it is, because in all reality, we don't want to be a puppy mill where it's like, hey, you come in here, we do everything for you. We want you to learn to run a business. Like, I'm not trying to have childcare and then hopefully you all, you guys get a bunch of deals and then you're paying us a crap ton of money, $90K in cap. And then we honestly put that up there. We're like, this is stupid. Who wouldn't do that? Right. No. And then everyone's like, oh yeah, we'll do 90K. And you're like, oh, okay, whatever. Knowing we were probably going to change that later on. So I think we're at that point now where it's like, we want to start putting that stuff on you guys. For the reason that I think we figured this out. I truly believe that. And like, I haven't said much about a lot of the stuff that we've been working on behind the scenes. And I know there's been a lot of like issues with NDAs, and there's been issues with just the system. And that's because I kind of quit spending as much time on it because we were pivoting away from something. You know what I mean? Like pivoting pretty hard, actually. Like, and so it's like, okay, well, to invest our time in that, I wanted to. It was something that was going to be broke anyways. We were tearing it apart. We were dismantling it. And so I think that with that being said, we can talk about moving forward what it looks like for Biz by Sell. I think if you want to, want to do that. And then we'll break down each thing that we've been that we're going to push on to them, that maybe we've been doing it. If so, and we're going to give you guys options, and we're doing this because you all were here first, so moving forward, no one's going to have an option.
Well, yeah. So here, let's get right into it. Cause I think as we go into what you guys have needed the most over the last 6 months, we've really put them on a whiteboard and said, okay, that's what we need to offer and be a little bit better at that. And some of the things that, like you just mentioned, we have a lot of brokers that are just kind of tapping their foot in the water and taking a lot of time, and it's just not feasible and scalable. So we broke the company up into 2 different companies, really 2, kind of 3, but we'll talk about 2 today. One is being part of Business Broker Plus, and what does that get you, right? That gets you a membership and a partnership with us. It gets you a monthly one-on-one that's scheduled, that you could discuss, right, all your different specific needs. It gets you all the trainings that you need. It gets you all the curriculum that you need. And this is all on business brokerage, right? As far as what does an NDA mean? What does a purchase agreement mean? When there's changes to a form, or we need to update something based off of state or legal fees in connections with that, that's all part of the Business Broker Plus family. Then company number 2 is the mastermind, which is what you're on here today. This is where it's an hour every single day. It's more of it's sales, talk about your deals. And you guys, this isn't anything new. We're not reinventing the wheel here. There's masterminds everywhere. It just depends on what you want to prosper in, right? But we're going to focus masterminding in on business brokerage. And good luck finding one, because it doesn't exist. Because we've tried looking ourselves when we first started in this industry. It doesn't exist. But it's going to be eventually a group of people getting together that are essentially talking and just really podcasting it out, in my opinion. Which is a lot of fun. We'll have guests. We'll have different aspects of it. We've got already guests lined up for next year with how to get better funding, how to market better, social media gurus, things like that, right? We've got it all lined up, a great schedule for you guys. So what's it mean for you? Do you want to go into that right now?
Yeah, and I think, and so what were the two companies, or think of them as, one is for business brokerage, and the other one is a business brokerage education company.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we call it Business Broker, or Legacy Broker Academy, because what that's going to be is the general speaking things that are going to be able to be applied to anything. So any business broker, right? So a business broker, which is wanting to, hey, like, I want to dive into it. I want to get certified as a business broker. We are and in the process of filming basically a certification course that is long. I mean, it's a long course because there's a lot that goes into it. And the reason that we're doing that is as Business Broker Plus, and like brokers, you guys are gonna get that stuff for free, just because you're part of the team. We want you guys to be successful, which is one of the things. Anyone that is a broker that is not part of the team, it's probably going to be upwards of $1,000 to $2,000 to take that certification. And go look at certifications for business brokering.
It's expensive.
It's super expensive. So we're actually going to be one of the cheapest. And so that's going to be one side. The business broker plus side, the brokering business, we're going to have all the documentation. We're going to have everything available to you. And that is specific to Business Broker Plus, which what that means is there's no promulgated documents. And if you're not in real estate, you may not know what that means. If you are in real estate, Texas, Minnesota, any of these, they all are going to have their promulgated documents that are done by the state. There's nothing like that, right? So when we've had to do this, we've had to talk to many people. We've had to figure out what works best for our company and how we want to do that. And it just got deeper and deeper, which is why we have the updated documents that are specific to us. So it's different. So as far as with the academy, those won't be on there because business broker contracts are mostly internal, right? Unless you're talking to a lawyer and a lawyer has one. There's no like, hey, this is the one that all real estate or all brokers use, like real estate. That's how in Texas, we all use the same one to 4 residential family. That's literally it. And so that's all internal stuff at BizBroker Plus. Like that's get access to that, all the things that we get, and also the accumulative support, our support system. Every time you guys email support, it gets documented and it will be put in archive. So if you have a question, go to the archives every time first.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're doing because it's a collective consciousness kind of approach. Is that if someone's had that problem, odds are somebody else has too.
Exactly.
And so we're doing that on the internal side. And also this is going to lean into what we're going into with Biz by Sell. We've developed so many partnerships. Biz by Sell, Deal Studio, lawyers. Also we have, what's that? Lenders, marketing agencies, valuation companies that are going to be able to, you're going to be able to use as far as if you need an evaluation, obviously, it doesn't cost you anything. But outside of that, to go and have those partnerships, if you're just a business broker, like you have to go develop them, right? So that's what we're doing. We're developing those partnerships. And even with the marketing side of it is we want to have something that you can go and say, what is this business's, to make you guys look good, what is this business's digital footprint, there's just going to be, a thing you put in for their website and all that, and it's literally going to spit out what their digital footprint is for their website, Facebook, all that stuff. But that's a partnership. That's not nothing with us. We're doing all that stuff so you guys can have access to all that. But with Biz by Sell, we're going to transition to more of a partnership and us not taking on the role of listings. Multiple reasons why. One is that we're going to allow you guys for the time being, if you have your listings, to have access to our, which I think we've already sent it out. If you guys have listings, they're already on. You guys can go change them. You can edit them. You can do all that stuff, which has been a bottleneck because Biz by Sell doesn't do that. Like you can't have multiple managing people like that. And then as we grow, the scalability of that is pretty impossible because when we had that conversation, it's like, hey, just give our brokers access to that. And I'm like, okay, well, wait a second. Like if we have 100, 200 brokers, who says someone's not going to go in there and just mess something up? And then we have to take them. Then every time a broker leaves, we have to change the passcode.
Well, not only that, we had some brokers come to us that have their own Biz by Sell, and they're like, we don't want to use your Biz by Sell.
Yeah.
So, and the reason is because you've got your own answers and questions. Yeah, Sherry, I agree. Definitely, it's a lot easier. So the point is this: with you guys, it's $99 a month. Bottom line to have all that stuff. We're going to also give you access to the mastermind. So to be part of the Business Broker family, BizBroker Plus family, $90 a month. And the reason is just one, in Zillow will keep going with you guys, right? We paid for a max of 25, just FYI. BizBroker, Biz by Plus, sorry. Biz by Plus.
Biz by Sell.
Well, there's some other things coming.
I know. I'm like, don't put the cat out of the bag.
Yeah, I'm not gonna put the cat yet. But some stuff that are really sweet that's coming that yours have. But anyway, that's $600-700 a month easy just for those $25 listings, 25 listings. So you can see that, hey, look, they're $90 a month. You're probably just covering your own fees to list your own businesses. Probably a lot less, honestly, because we're group purchasing together. So, but you get access to everything else. So we really want to, and I'm going to say it because it is what it is. We're drawing a line in the sand between those who really want to be business brokers and those who are just kind of, putting their feet in the water. We really want to spend time with those that care and want to drive and have this as an income, and those that don't. So I see it at this: if you balk at $1,200 a year, to me, I understand it's a lot of money to some people, but when you close a deal, one deal, it's pennies. And so that's the part to where I've paid masterminds upwards of $10,000 throughout these years because I wanted to get and tap into people's mindsets. So this call will turn more to that type of stuff, but we wanted to tell you guys right now today, starting in January, that's kind of the fee. I know I had some questions. JJ, you asked me to as well. It's $99 a month, but you get to continue to grow in the family and be part of it and be part of Mastermind forever, and continue the one-on-ones. Obviously, some of you can show up to my front doorstep and just knock on the door if you want to. So there's that part too, right? So it is what it is. You could see even right now in the mastermind, there's usually about 4 or 5 people that show up, right? We want to work with those guys, bottom line. Those that don't want to put the time and effort into it, it's just not feasible and scalable for us. So you agree, my friend?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think it's been going, I think it's been going that direction, and that we see the people that are actually really wanting to do it, and I want to be able to invest in them. And I want to be able to invest in the people opposed to, I feel like when you got to build everything too, that takes a lot of time to do, right? So you're not being able to invest in the people. So I always say, the people, process and the product, right? If you guys have ever watched the profit, right?
Yep.
My favorite is that the people are always the most important, and the product can change and the process can change, but the people are the most important. So I feel like that's what we truly want to invest in.
Yeah.
We want to invest in the people. Which is why we're trying to simplify the process to make it so that we can focus more. I think the process has been where it's like, hey, if we're in the middle of the process, we are the process. If that's us, well, things are going to go up, things are going to go down, things are going to change, where we have to move things based upon all the people. But if you guys are controlling your own process, we can focus on you.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense. Yeah.
And so that's where I'm like really excited. Obviously, being a coach before, that's like what I love to do. And so as much as I love to do all the tech stuff and whatnot, it's one of those things where it's like there's a point of where it's like it's just going to be repeating a wheel. Like that's all you're doing. You're just going to be repeating it because the new thing's going to come and whatnot. But with people, you can have a consistent growth of people where it's like it doesn't ever drop. Technology is like, oh, something new. Oh, we got to do this, and then we go back. Anyway, it's all over the place. With people, it's like you have a constant just increase of knowledge, right? Which I love to do that because you can see the change, and there's no technology that's ever gonna take that away or change it, or you're like, oh, I got to pivot. And so I think this is why we have two different businesses. We have the legacy broker because we do want to focus on the people, and then we have the business, and we want to give you guys the resources, tools to be able to do the business brokering because one can't operate without the other. And when we were trying to put them in one, it wasn't working that way of like, you know,
it's confusing for people for sure.
And it's like, okay, well, we're going to offer this thing for free. And you're like, okay, it's valid. It's not worth anything then. There's no value. There's nothing to it. No matter how much you throw at me, it's not worth anything because, and so for me, I'm like, okay, the people that will pay it are serious, which to me, time is the most important thing. I want to invest in those people because and it's for like, here's the thing. This is what I told you. They're like, hey, when we were talking about pricing and things like that, I was like, let's charge $1,000 for the mastermind for people outside. I was like, I paid $3,000 easy for masterminds. I was like, because what that does is imagine if someone's paying me $1,000, I'm bringing my freaking A game. Like I'm gonna make sure they're successful. I will do everything in my power to give them everything that they possibly can to be successful. Like Hunter, if someone gives me $5, like as much as you want to be like, I just love people. Let's be serious. Be serious. You're like I'm gonna put I'll put my money where my mouth is, and then if you're putting your money up for me, you best believe I'm gonna be like, I take this thing damn serious.
Well, holds everybody accountable.
100%.
So let's ask, what about you guys? Do you have any questions so far before we go into some of the other segments? I know we just had a few.
I think it's absolutely fair. You gotta get some people have some skin in the game, or they're not gonna take it serious, and they're gonna just waste your time, and that's not good. Because then the rest of us who are serious can't get your time because you're too busy with those who are wasting it.
Yeah.
So,
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Great point.
Yeah,
Right.
I just wanted to let you know, I guess I fully agree. And if you guys have skin in the game, there's obviously going to be some more effort on the broker side. So good stuff.
Nice.
Looking,
Dude, Ryan, are you sick, man?
yeah, dude, I'm battling some kind of something. I don't know what COVID. I don't know what, but it's been like a week now. Yeah, so
Right on the holidays, perfect timing.
exactly. So
Cool. JJ, what about you, bro?
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel either way about anything. I mean, I thought it was a little kind of crazy that you guys were going to let people do it for free from the beginning.
I'm telling you, I was testing.
I was like, I'm getting in because I've been with
you guys were our
Corey
guinea
and
pigs.
Travis. That's why I've been here.
What were we saying though, JJ?
No, I was like, I'm in here because I know Corey and Travis. I guess that makes sense. I'm getting the friend discount. But no, yeah, I think that it makes total sense for me. I'm just kind of curious about how, like, what's the shift going to look like when, and like what are the things that we need to be thinking about that are going to be different now than how we've been operating when it comes to like, hey, I have a question, that I need to ask support. Will that be the same? Will that be different? Things like that, that's what I'm curious about.
Yeah, sports. I mean, sports we're putting that place, and actually, it's going to be even getting better. It's going to be getting better because we're actually having a support system opposed to just it's going to be emails. But as far as we're having tickets, we're having things like that. That's an internal thing to make sure that everything does get handled, and also the process. Like I said, to things to go into archive. Like if you have a question, your first step shouldn't be support. Your second step should be support. Which your first step is, I'm sure somebody's asked this before.
Okay.
Archive.
I was like, what is it? I don't know.
Someone's probably asked that before. So go check archives. And you can go in there and we're working on, you should be able to, there should be a little button on the bottom that's like a talk, not a talk thing, but a little chat box. You should be able to type questions in there and it should spit you to the right place.
Yeah.
So it's kind of got a little AI into it, into it also, which, well, we can talk about that also, but
Or email support. It gets filtered to us if
Yeah.
first line of defense can't answer the question. But just think of this as a family right now, as the BizBroker, the first starting group. You guys have access to Biz Buy Sell now. You'll be logging in there, change whatever you want to change now. You have the passwords. We'll answer any questions, and then you guys get to come here for every Friday to tap in and dive into one-on-ones. We'll have a calendar up to where we could have that going for you guys. So for you guys, it's very simple. $9, you get everything. But what the exciting part is going forward, I think we should spill the beans on the Caps. I don't like waiting. It's the holidays.
let Ryan get back in here because I think he
Okay,
got kicked
Ryan,
out.
okay.
There we go.
I
You
need
guys
to
didn't
tell
like
about-
me.
I want to tell about all this.
I was
Travis,
good.
the IT guy wants to nerd out and tell you what's going on. I just want to tell you in my simple terms what's coming because it's exciting. Can we do it? Let's talk about the cap.
Okay.
You do the cap. I'll
Okay.
do the site because I'm going to sell your site.
Okay.
Come on, you got to go.
All right, you guys, let me ask you a question. What's the cap right now?
90,000.
Sure, he doesn't like that. Look at that. I can see it in his face.
90,000. We've had a conversation about it.
So we're cutting it in half.
Yeah. So what does that mean? Look at JJ's face. Okay. What does that
So it's
mean?
45,000, which that means if we do a deal, if you do, okay, which is stupid,
deal,
right?
like
If you
one
do
deal.
one deal, $40,000 cap, right? And that's what that is that's enough for us to pay for if you completely filled up a downline on that one. And then the reason is like, hey, we were doing this because we were hoping that y'all were going to close some deals. And instead, the caps, the structure is the same, still 70-30, right?
Mhm.
So if you do a 15K deal, you get, it's not going to be cap, but
Mhm.
but it's if you do like a big deal, obviously a 40K is going to be super easy, right? With 15%. So our thing is we are going to be able to allow you guys to make more money. And also, I think the biggest thing is that we're putting a lot more on you guys opposed to what we were doing, having to get your own biz buy sell, and being able to just structure that different, right? So we wanted to be like, okay, well, we're going to drop this because our really goal is to get as many brokers as possible. That's truly what it is.
Well,
and really build this company where it's like, hey, listen, I would rather have 1,000 brokers paying $99 than to have 1,000 brokers that have a $90,000 cap.
Mhm.
Like, I would just rather do that because I would rather do it that way and say, hey, listen, yeah, we're not in the grand scheme of things. It's going to sound like we're making way less, but we're going to be able to make bigger impacts, which I more care about impacts than I do actually the money. So I feel like that is enough for us to be able to say, it's like one of those, if you're going to talk to somebody and you say, hell yeah, but the cap's 90,000, but cap's only 40K. It's like one deal.
Yeah.
And then it's 100% after that.
Yeah. So
Right?
if I were you guys, I wouldn't close any business until January 1. That's sandbagging.
No. That's not how a cap works. Don't confuse them. A cap is your physical year. Okay. So
Oh, when they start.
when they start.
Oh.
So everyone has a different cap.
So they get retroactive, right?
What's that?
Is it retroactive?
Dude, I mean, nobody's here's closed the deal. So
Retroactive for you guys.
it's that what we talked about, like a JJ, listen, come on, go close that moving company, bro. like
T-shirt shop.
at a t-shirt shop or the moving company or something, right? And so, yeah, I think for us is like, we're moving towards a business model that is, having partnership with Deal Studio. And that's going to be the other thing too. If you guys want Deal Studio, we're not going to have one where it's collective. We're working with them to have it where you guys are going to have to pay for it. You don't need it though. You don't.
40K cap, right? They're asking.
Yeah.
Not 45.
Did I say 45?
You said 45, half of 90.
Yeah, we're cutting in half.
So 45.
45. Sorry.
Okay.
45.
You ran the numbers, so 45.
Yeah, 45.
There you go, Sherry.
The other reason for, I'll tell you that other reason. The other reason that is when we have team, we have about a 10K buffer that we can actually give for the team thing.
Yeah. So if you run your own team, then you can, have some
your
skin in the game too.
cap's going to be a little bit less. You're going to make a little bit more money off of your team too. So not just,
Well,
we're not going to get into the team structure. Though.
we got about 5 minutes left, and I want to definitely get into some brokering stuff we got to discuss.
Okay.
So,
Any questions
yeah.
onto that? Caps, anything else? Before we jump
This
in?
is question based off what you just said about Deal Studio. So we're dropping Deal Studio. So we're up
Right
to
now, you
ourselves
guys are,
now
we're not going to
to
change anything right now. This is going to be moving forward, and we'll tell you why. And right now, we're not dropping Deal Studio. The way it works right now for Deal Studio is this was also a conversation very early on, is that this is not scalable to have 100 people on Deal Studio. It's just not. It's great for a team structure. It
Mhm.
is so great for like 10 people, right? Totally fine.
Right.
When if we were to grow this company, there's no way for us to be able to have like independent, like, and that's the thing. You guys are all independent people, right? We're not. You're part of BizBroker Plus, but it's not like we're a team where it's like, hey, like, here's the difference between a team. When you have a team, you have a leader that is like, hey, this is my team. I'm in like this. We're not really. That's what a team structure is. We're not doing that. We're like, you all are individuals, individual brokers. So imagine if we had 100 people on Deal Studio. Like, that's impossible. Like, for one, the pipeline would go down forever just as far as I mean, you guys only see yours. I'm talking about for like on mine, which is on an admin level, but it gets very complicated. Which if you've ever been, KV Core or you've done any CRMs, like, you're not going to have, 150 people on there that are balancing different things. You each have individual accounts. So you guys we can get you individual accounts with them. Nothing's been solidified with that quite yet, but you won't need to exactly do that to start off with. I would say you close a deal and we'll talk about it. But because we're moving towards, just tell them about the whole thing, because I think that's
Which part?
the Zillow.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Yeah,
Like,
wait.
you built, I got to tell it. I'm the seller. I'm
Okay.
the seller. No,
There
well,
was-
what it means by this too is, and I want to double cap this real quick, is the mastermind is going to be $500 a month for anybody else. Deal Studio is going to cost for anybody else.
Our
So
ads say 1,000 slashed at 500, so there will be
Yeah,
people that will
yeah.
be paying 1,000 for
And, there,
it.
and there'll be a part two, and we haven't really talked about this, but we'll probably get a little piece, a part of the team. We can work out deals if they build
Yeah.
teams, right?
Mhm.
So you guys can get a piece of that monthly recurring revenue. Again, with business brokering, the more the better when it comes to the odds of selling businesses. Bottom line, right? Oh, there's Ryan. What's up, dude?
Hey, there you go.
So we'll go over that in a second. But for you guys, the only thing that changes is $99 a month. We're gonna have more structured one-on-ones, and you're gonna continue crushing it as always. Bottom line, and you have now access to Biz by Sell.
Yes, and so and with the mastermind too, when whoever comes a part of this, you get one-on-one every month. It's literally a strategy call. So the way it works is that you're gonna talk 1 month at the first month that you guys about what are your goals, which could be like, hey, listen, I want to close this many deals. Okay, let's reverse engineer that. How do we get to this many deals? Well, it's going to be the activities you have to get to do there. So the next month it's going to be, hey, Ryan, you said you wanted this many deals, and we said to get that many deals, it's going to take boom, 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 this many calls, whatever it is. The goal is for us to hold you guys accountable, but also just to be there to support and say, well, why didn't you make those calls? Could have been sick. There's a lot of other things, but also there's a point where it's like you need to have that accountability. The other structure of the mastermind that we will have, that anyone's on here, we're going to have you guys, and we call them battle buddies in some of them, but we are going to want you guys to have somebody else, not just us, that you guys can collaborate with, right? So you guys don't ever feel like you're on an island. It is the best thing you can do in these masterminds. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk to you guys individually and say, hey, have you got linked up with somebody that's going to be your accountability partner? Because it's so great for you guys it's great for you guys to reach out to us, and it's great for us to do it once a month. But there's those one things that we say, you structure a call, could be 10 minutes once a week with your accountability partner to say, hey, this is what I said I was going to do. This is what you said you're going to do. Did you guys get it done? It's the best thing ever that we can do. So there's going to be structure within this mastermind that is going to help you guys be so beneficial for you guys, your success. Okay. Because nobody wants to feel like they're on an island.
Yeah.
So there you go.
No, you're good. Because of timing, right?
Yeah, go.
Sherry's one asked also, and JJ had a question as well on some things. I don't want to spoil. I think we should set a full half an hour to what's coming and kick that off in the new year.
All right, let's just tell them just
catch
tell
them a little bit.
them a
Well,
little bit.
We're gonna take out biz buy sell. I'm gonna be very honest with you. I as a business broker myself, it is like in the Stone Ages for those that, and you will see when you start running it and operating it, like who searches by Williamson County? Nobody, right? Nobody. So imagine, I mean, what's the number one tool you guys use to look at real estate?
MLS, Zillow.
What do you guys use?
I use a software called Privy. I don't know if Travis, you might be familiar with that. It's
But you're a
analytic tool.
broker. What do
Nope.
consumers look at?
They look at
Redfin or Zillow, yeah.
Zillow. And what is the number one feature on Zillow and Redfin?
Features.
what's for sale.
Comparable houses, I guess.
Well, how you? It's people take advantage of it so much they don't even know they have it. Does that make sense? That's the crazy part. So hit them.
Do you guys have? If you guys go on Biz by Sell, is there a map feature? Is there?
No.
Oh,
There
yes,
isn't?
absolutely. Right.
It's really frustrating. I hate going on there to try and search for stuff.
I can find a piece of land in
All right.
seconds on Zillow.
Yeah. All right. So you guys. All right. So, God dang it! I don't know how to explain this because without telling the whole thing,
No, we don't have time for the whole.
I basically built a Zillow for for BizBroker Plus. It's literally Zillow, but so
Oh,
the
wow.
point that you can even have people, but you can put your own listing on there. We won't even need to list on Deal Studio like we're doing. You literally have your own portal, your own CRM, everything individualized for you, and even other brokers can do it. That we can charge money to them. Even for sell by owner businesses can put it on there, which we will have that data, so we can be the first people to reach out to them. We basically, as a map function, it also has everything you can think of that Biz Buy Sell has, but also a Google map. It also has a radius. It has literally everything, and I could go on. It's
Don't spill it all yet. We'll show it all.
dude,
when it's ready.
it's not completely. So we'll have other brokers on there, just like Biz Buy Sell, but your listings will have a BB plus on the map. So they'll know that it's specifically that, which goes towards
Nice.
the training part of it, which is we want to highlight our brokers that when we do these courses, you guys are going to be mandatory to take these. And so what we want to do is make you guys highlight it as these are the best damn brokers in the business, because we're going to make sure that you guys are headlined in those. You're going to have your own, like, so the way that we've been doing it, and I know in the background, you guys don't really see a lot of it. I've been hitting my head against the table with a lot of things because I was like, there's got to be a better way. And so Corey, we talked, this was last week. Was it last mastermind?
Yeah.
So I built this thing in a week.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
So don't know how, you
The
know,
hair gets curlier and crazy.
it does. I was like, this is like, what is this? Like, I just been in my office, just doing this, looking at a screen.
Yeah, no, it's exciting, and I think it's important. It's like you just said. Like I tried even to get you guys to say your number one feature on Zillow, and it's the map, but we don't even know it, and that's the part to where people are going to be able to search. And what's included in the $99? Unlimited listings. for you
Unlimited
guys.
listing. We're charging people for listings.
What are you going to have access to? People that for sale by owner, so you guys can be the first to tap into that. And so you guys are part of this family. Obviously, you're the first to get it going. You're guinea pigs, and that's basically why it is. So we're here to help us cover some costs a little bit on these brokers, broking sales, and then that's pretty much it for us. But let's dive in to some business.
I thought we were already diving in.
No,
All right, let's
dive
go.
in. So there's two questions that I really wanted to highlight today. One of them, Trav, was about due diligence. Sherry, this is your question, right? So there's two different types of due diligences, people call them. One of them is whenever you go into a business and you have them fill out their own due diligence paperwork, right? The more, the better. It's as simple as that. You just try to get everything you can find out about their business, everything. For example, we were talking about this, I think, a couple weeks ago. There's lease space and there's CAM lease space. CAM lease space is to pay for the flowers out front. Rental space is for the building inside. That is not really included in due diligence, right? In most people's due diligence. So you really, the more you get into this business, the better you get at due diligence yourself. But that's easy. Where due diligence comes in and where you spend a lot of time wasting is with potential buyers. You know, there's cues that will tell you, you could be shocked. Don't get me wrong. And it happens 1 out of 10 times, but 9 out of 10 times, just move on. And what I mean by that is if someone's calling saying, hey, Sherry, I see you have I forget the clamping website for sale or business for sale. Tell me about it. That is a bait question, right? This is where they want to go in there without an NDA because it takes too long. It's blah, 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 blah. So you simply say, oh, it's a great business. Potential of revenue is extremely high. You could see it. I mean, everybody wants to glamp today. Like, this is a business. Do you like outdoors? Like, do you see how I'm saying pretty high level? Do you like outdoors? Yes, I like outdoors. Great. Well, hey, I tell you what, the first step is we got to get you to sign an NDA because this thing is hot. Like, we got a lot of people wanting it. If you want to learn more about the details, then you got to sign the NDA. Fast forward, they signed the NDA. They're like, hey, Sherry, I signed the NDA. I want to know more. It's fantastic. So here's a little bit about the business. Owner's been owning this for a few years now. They really want to move on to a different type of business. Their overall revenue is continuing to grow up and up and up each year. But I tell you what, Mr. or Mrs. Buyer, the opportunity falls in its opportunity revenue stream, meaning there's only 3 or 4 different places to stay, but the land has potential for 10. So I tell you, have you ever thought about it? Tell me about you now. Have you ever owned a business, glamping business, and you flip it to them? That's all you give them after they sign the NDA. That's it. Because
So you don't give them the CIM after that?
You can give them the SIM, sure. I'm going to send you the SIM, but
Okay.
then that will lead to more questions, right? Which is fine. But as far as your time, that's all you give them. It's just not relevant to give anymore at this point. If they call you a third time after the SIM, now we're in the game.
So what you're trying to do is try to get, you're basically wanting them to take the first step. So
They want to take first step at everything.
That makes sense. Yeah.
because what happens is if they're not willing to take that step, you don't need to waste your time on them.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. These rules will force you to save time. And when it comes to that third step after they get the NDA, then you really want to talk about the specifics. And what I mean by the specifics are really the top 5: gross revenue, OPEX, lease space, EBITDA, and profit. That's it. Like these are the things. Well, what's my insurance bill? Like, put an offer in. You know, at that point, you know, if you want to get to that type of level of detail, put an offer in. Yeah, you know what I mean? So after those top 5, everything else is offer. Or if you really are comfortable and you're 100% okay with the owner talking to this person, then you can, you know, set up a phone call. But nobody has a conversation after point 3 unless you see funds. So what are funds? A 401k is probably what everybody will send you first. I have $400,000 in my 401k. Okay, but there are rules to taking out of your 401k. Have you looked them up, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer? How much can you cash out, right? If someone shows you a bank account with a name on it, it better match their driver's license. And Ryan, we talked about this too earlier, right? The ID needs to be statement. They can take out the account number if they want to. All that stuff is fine. But essentially, they need to show you proof of funds. So step 1, 2, 3, step 4 is proof of funds. And then after that, it's, look, you know, in business, people think buying a business is like buying a house. You could back out at any time. Due diligence gives you the ceiling for it to exit. So there's not even lawyers involved in due diligence at this point. Like it's literally just, let me see your books. And that's where you turn things over. And if they have it, they don't have it. It's up to the potential seller to provide that stuff. So
yeah, so like I was looking at, you know, that due diligence list that you gave us. Of that, like it would seem like most of it you don't want to show until they've got an offer put in, and then they can do their due diligence.
Yeah.
And see all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like the bank, to show them the bank statements or any of that before they've got an offer. Don't show them any of that.
No,
you only talk about those 5 things.
If they're serious, they'll put an offer in.
Okay.
And because every offer is like, to me, is a new age letter of intent. Like a purchase agreement is like, I'm going to buy this business, but I'm about to see under the hood. And if you don't show me what I request, I'm out. And that can be documented and they can leave, right? All day long. Again, when I just went to the purchase with Dickey's Barbecue, it fell through. I made an offer, I got underneath the hood, and I backed out. because the landlord was not willing to sign the lease. None of that was even disclosed to me before I even offered, right? So it's in the standard to do this on that part. You have
So on the sim, there's at the last one, there's a QR code to financials. So what do you put on the sim for financials that you're sharing?
that's something that I would put like JJ, you made this yourself, a projected one or something like that, but not actual details. Like you and I don't personally do it to be it very
I mean, if you put like documents and stuff like that, don't be, the thing is, don't be afraid to say like financials will be like all financials will be given upon offer, accepted offer. Because at that point, they can get them. Like, I want to know how serious they are, right? Because if you're saying, hey,
Yeah.
listen, I make 150 grand a year off of this just net, and you're like, oh, okay, cool, great. Once we get the offer and you see it, but it's not, they can back out. Like, it's not, they can back out super simple. So I think that the biggest thing you can do is just shoot yourself in the foot with some of those things, because I don't know. Like, I think you want to get an offer. You don't want to waste your time on these people, but also if think about this, the offer doesn't go, the offer gets accepted, and then they realize truly that they don't want that business.
Yeah.
You are now connected with that buyer. You know that buyer's serious. Well, why? Because they made an offer on that's a serious position, right?
Yep.
It's a serious buyer. Listen, Mr. Buyer, I'm gonna go find you that listing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go find you that business. What do you want now? I see that you're serious. So, like, once you can make an offer, you just know that's a serious buyer.
For sure.
So don't be afraid to, like, or if they're really serious, they're gonna ask more questions. So if you don't give them enough, they're gonna be like, "Can I just get this? Can I just get this?" Yeah, make an offer.
I just watched the finale of Yellowstone, and I won't spoil it for those that haven't seen it yet.
So
but
is that like over?
it's over, yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Matter of fact, Tyler Sheridan's suing Rip in real life, so it's definitely over.
Perfect.
Yeah. But it's one of those things where they came up to him and this kid asked him, "Can I pet the horse?" They were in a trailer, and he's like, "Yeah, you can pet the horse." And this next couple came up right after, and they're like, "Can I also pet the horse?" He's like, "No." She's like, "You just let them pet it." He's like, "Well, now if I let one person do it, it's being nice. Two, it's a petting zoo." So I'm saying, don't make a petting zoo. Essentially,
Oh, that's a good one. I saw that part. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you
a
do, right?
good
You do it,
part.
right?
Yeah, that's a good one. Man.
Yellowstone, right? It's
Yeah,
the rest of the quotes.
that's actually, he bleeped a lot out. He left a lot out.
But anyway, so Cherry, does that make sense, guys? Like, I really don't want you to waste your time with these like people that aren't serious. It's just a waste of time.
So I put
Yeah.
in the chat question. It said, so when we talked about due diligence, do we not start that until an offer is made and it's accepted? Or just like once they're serious enough and they make an offer? And then also, like, what does that mean, make an offer? Just like a verbal offer? Or what is that? You know what I mean? That's
They
what
have to
I'm.
fill out the purchase agreement and officially put an offer in, and it has to be accepted for due diligence period to start. Because in that offer period, or in that offer purchase agreement, it will show a due diligence period. And I would recommend 3 weeks, not 2.
Oh, yeah, I was going to ask you that, Corey. What's the normal or the standard time for due diligence? Is it 3 weeks, or should we? I mean, can we push it to a month? Is that
I would
what's
say
standard?
5 million under 3 weeks, 5 million over could be 6 months. Like, it just
Okay.
depends on that actual business transaction. But most of them that we're going to be selling are going to be 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Okay, that's good to know.
Okay, so somebody says, hey, yeah, I want to buy the business for 400,000. They put in an official offer. We bring that to the owner and they accept it.
Mhm.
And then you move into due diligence. If they don't accept it, and then it's just still negotiation time, and then they have to re-put in the new offer that until it gets accepted, and then we start actually showing all the financials, bank accounts, all that kind of stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, that's
Okay.
where yeah. And listen, if you're a seller, you don't have to show any of that stuff, like your bank accounts or nothing like that. Like, again, with the Dickies, I didn't get a bank account. All I got was sales history from Dickies Barbecue. So that's the only thing I got. No taxes, no nothing. You'll find out the food licenses are expired. Matter of fact, not only expired, there's issues and red flags everywhere. Like, you'll find out all of that after you buy it. But if you either want the business or you don't, though. You know what I mean? And that's the part to where there's one there's this cake business that was in downtown Austin. It was owned by a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader and a previous Dallas Cowboys player. They didn't want it anymore. They just want to dump it for $50,000. But this thing did $2 million in revenue. I'm like, we could find something in there, right? And I
Yeah.
just due diligence the heck out of it. Before you know it, someone came in and swept it up, and I missed an opportunity. So there's buyers that want it, and there's buyers that want to play with it, and there's buyers that are just fishing for information. And matter of fact,
So
Ryan,
could
that out the car wash, right?
so could they have multiple offers going at once because somebody's in the middle of due diligence?
Yeah,
Just whoever gets to the end of the table first and says, I want it, gets it.
whoever's got the cash is king.
I got to run to pick up a client, but thanks you guys.
Yeah, you bet. We'll see you, Sherry. Awesome. Okay, so that as far as I have one more question of JJ. Did your question get answered on the email support with the purchase agreement or the purchase price? Do you know what I'm talking about? The one where you're like, oh shoot, I might have overpriced it. Did that make sense? Oh, you're muted, buddy. JJ, you're muted.
No, I never sent that to support. That was just a
Okay.
conversation that we were having. So
Okay. Do you feel good about it?
yeah, so what I asked him, just for everybody to be in the know, was like, hey, after looking at all of the numbers and whatnot, you know, one of the first things that people have been asking, which I'm sure is common for any business, is like, hey, this business doing like $1 million in revenue. Why are they asking for 1.25 million? Like, what am I missing? Why is it so high? Right. And so I've just started looking at it, and I start looking at multiples of, you know, successful moving companies, things like that, and yada yada. And it's like, well, now that I'm looking at it, it's like it probably should be only at like around like 800,000, like to be sold around there. You know, that'd be like a good 3x multiplier of the actual like SDE.
Yeah.
And he wants 1.25 million, which obviously is like the dream, right? I'm like, but man, like what did I do wrong in my thinking when I had that first conversation where I wasn't like, hey, that's too high. Like I was like, man, what did I miss? Because I'm like, man, that's a big jump from 800 to 1.25 million, you know?
Were the assets high?
Yeah, I think he has like between his trucks and his trailers, something like 100 some thousand, $200,000 in FF&E.
So you're not too far off. If it's $800,000 for the business itself, $200,000 for the equipment, you know. But
Sure.
again, you have some people that would like buy that up to buy that customer list that he has. You know.
Yeah,
So
I don't know. And I haven't been answering those questions. I try to avoid it and be like, hey, fill out the NDA, you know, we'll have a conversation about, you know, whatever. But like I said, I'm sure everybody thinks every business is probably too expensive, but
yeah, for sure.
Hey, quick question for you guys, while we're talking about FF&E. So when you're analyzing all their assets and whatnot, are we paying full market price for that asset? Let's say it's, you know, few trucks or whatever, a trailer, like you mentioned, JJ. Is that like brand new? Are they 200,000, or if they got, you know, 100,000 miles on them, are they worth 50 grand? You know?
Good question. And this is that valuation point that you were making to me the other day is, you know, I think at this point, this is when we say to them, if they don't know, let's do the valuation. Because they
Okay.
will evaluate those trucks online. We'll do it. And we're going to get to the point to where we're going to start charging for that eventually, because they're getting more complicated. For the ones that are $50 food cart business, we're not going to worry about anymore. But
Yeah.
for like JJ's 1.25 million, your car wash, you know, we just need to get evaluated. And eventually people, and Travis got someone to pay it or close to paying it, right? That's like, I just want to know what my business is worth.
I mean, yeah, it's actually, you know, it was awesome because you're going to get two people. You're going to get people that know what they want to sell it for, and then you're going to have to combat that price to see. Or you're going to get someone that has no idea. And if they have no idea, don't try to figure it out. Like, here, I have an idea. Let's talk to someone that's going to actually evaluate your business. And worst case scenario for your business, it's going to be between $1,500 to $2,000. You'll know exactly what your business is worth. And if we can actually list this, then we can actually tie that into closing cost and have it split or have the buyer pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think one of those things is that's one of the biggest partnerships I think that you guys take advantage of and say, if I were in your shoes, I would 100% get a valuation. And what that does twofold is you're going to know what that price is, and they're not going to be able to knock it down for you and be like, oh, I know it's worth more than that. Well, how?
Yeah.
Two, opposed to you being on the front end and going, hey, Mr. Seller, I really need those documents. Can I get those documents, Mr. Seller? I'm emailing you again. Please send me those documents. In order to get an evaluation, they have to have those documents. So then it's as simple as, hey, is it okay, if the evaluator sends me all the documents? 100%.
So
So
how do
it's-
we,
What's that?
sorry, how do we get that to the evaluator? And then like, how does the financials work on the front end? Like,
I would
are we
say
asking?
here's the way I worked it. I emailed Brian and I said, Brian, I have somebody who he potentially wants to list his business. He will. And the thing about Brian is Brian's just going to push him towards us back. So it's kind of one of those things, you're building this like triangle of trust of that. And so I basically was like, Brian, I have a guy, I'm just going to introduce you via email. And then Brian took it from there. Introduced him via email, and Brian took it from there. And now it's just me following up. That's literally it, and saying, hey, whenever you're ready, move on to the next deal. Move on to the next deal.
Okay.
And
So
then
we
just keep following up.
we just put the onus on them, whether or not they want to get it a professional evaluation.
I mean, I would put it where you are highly recommending it. We are the professional. Let's have confidence. Like if I were in your shoes,
Mhm.
I have
Sure.
a evaluator that can do it for 50, depending on the business. His business is probably worth $300,000 to $400,000. And so I said, for $1,500 to $2,000, you can have it evaluated. And if you decide to list it, you find out that you do, this makes sense. I want to list it. We can wrap that into your closing cost or the buyer's closing cost, or have them split it. If not, then you're going to have to pay that. And he's like, oh, that's nothing to know exactly what my business is worth. Right. And one, it gets them set up that your transaction is going to be way smoother because you're not going to be chasing stuff. You're going to be chasing.
Yeah, so that's exactly what I felt like with some of these. Just like I'm kind of just guessing as best as I can. I tried to learn as much as I can, but I'm not a pro by any means, especially like digging into financials and things like that, where there's like,
Be a
oh, you
pro
said
at
this was an add back,
Yeah.
but that's not, shouldn't be. It's a massive difference on the actual asking price now. So then is Brian like having like a handshake agreement or something with Biz Buy Sell that he's not going to he won't take payment until the end? Or are they saying, hey, you pay for it up front, but when your business sells, we'll then wrap that price into it? Is that how that works?
Yeah. I mean, I added that to the email. He's potentially thinking about listing his business, but I did make him aware if he does not list it, that he will have to pay the cost.
Okay.
So I just let him know that because we've already had that agreement where that was the whole agreement we've already had. So I made him aware that, hey, if you decide not to list, you're going to have to pay for that. Okay. It's not a free evaluation. He's like, totally fine. So make sure you do that up front. But I think if you get really good at sales and not worry, that's my biggest thing is like, it's super funny. If I ever had her on one time, I would have Darla on. She is my transaction coordinator and I call her my life manager because I don't do anything. Like, she's like, you're the laziest agent ever. I will go get deals and I will bring them. But once it goes to closing, I'm like, Darla, tell me what to do. Yeah. Because I know what to do, but I'm not like, my goal is to go find something else, which keeps her busy. And if I'm worried about doing that stuff, so if you get really good at saying, listen, I have an amazing person that's going to evaluate that company for you, and just I would try to push as much as you can for them to do that, because that takes the leverage off you. And I know once I get Darla involved on the transaction side, she gets all the documents for me. So that means I'm not playing the runaround game, which is my least favorite game to play.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think that, use him. And also when we're talking about the buying process too, when you get to the point that somebody says, and maybe we haven't talked about this enough, when someone gets to the point of you say, hey, their down payment, what it's going to be, we have an amazing lender that you would ask the question, great, are you paying cash for this or are you going to get a loan? I'm going to get a loan. Great. Have you talked to somebody? We want them to talk to our person. because it's, again, we're building, imagine like on the seller side, it's the valuation, right? Triangle. He trusts us. Now we're making a 3. He's pushing us. If you have the lender on your side, on the buyer side, he's pushing us right back. Like, oh yeah, dude, JJ's amazing. He's awesome, dude. Yeah, you're so lucky, dude. There's a lot of bad brokers out there. You got a good one, right? And so the goal is, when you ask those questions, ask that question: are you paying cash?
Yeah.
No, I'm not. Okay, great. Well, let me hook you up with my lender. Just be presumptive. Let me hook you up with him. He's freaking amazing, dude. He gets the best rates ever. And because that's going to only help you, and that takes it off that you don't got to follow up as much, because Scotty, who's our lender, is going to follow up with you and be like, hey, listen, spoke to so-and-so. He's good to go, bro. He's good to go.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. This might be too much of a rabbit trail question, but it has to do with what you're talking about with cash and whatnot, but if we can't do it, then that's fine.
No, it's up.
I'm good.
Okay, so I was thinking about my t-shirt company. I'm talking to a guy right now. I told him, hey, the next step is showing proof of funds on his mutual, the NDA basically. He said he's going to put 100,000 down. And I was like, okay, well, if they sell the t-shirt company for 400K, I'm like, but he's going to put 100 down and then finance the rest somehow, whether it's through a loan that he has or seller financing. I was thinking about the owner of the business, and I'm like, how do we help walk them through the process for them to realize, like, hey, when you sell your business, obviously we know you're not going, if you're going to do financing, like seller financing, you're not going to get it all right away. But more than that, if he puts down 100,000, 60K of that is instantly going to us as a brokerage. So you're actually, when you sell your business, you're only going to get 40K. How do we walk them through that, where that, so I can imagine that would be like oh man, kind of like moment.
Are they doing so? And first of all, like, the NDA, that is not proof of funds. That's literally just made up, being put whatever you want.
No, I know.
That's okay. So when as far as if he's going to get a lender, that's the big thing, is like, are they open to seller financing? The t-shirt shop?
Mm-hmm.
They are? Well,
yeah.
I think
you could do that, but I would recommend, if they could put $100,000 down, the reason why he's wanting the bank is because why not? It's that money not on my credit. So he's going to take advantage of that, and so would I. But what you have to do is push back and say, if you can put $100,000 down, go get a loan. And then
I'm just totally hypothesizing if that's what were to happen.
Yeah.
And I imagine that will happen, where people are going to use seller financing. They have a chunk they're going to put down. I'm thinking from the owner's perspective. How do we help them deal with that emotional reality of, I just sold my business for $400,000, but I only got 40K up front, and then I have to pay taxes on that. You know what I mean? Like, that probably is like a whoa. Like, I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
I love seller financing for I think your t-shirt company, you have to spend the good, which is like, yeah, great. Yeah, you got 40K. You're getting $5,000 next month, and
that's what I was thinking
next month, and
for
$5,000. So you spend the other things like, listen, you literally just got an awesome job for the next 4 years that literally $5,000 coming in every month. And you can spit favorable terms too. And so what you can do is like, hey, $100,000, he was really thinking if he's going to do seller financing, he was going to do 50% down. Can you do 200,000 and push back on that? Push back on the, like, even just do it just without, just do it and say like, hey, I think he was probably wanting more of a 50% down. Can you think you could do 200,000? Because if you feel like your seller is going to like, and maybe those conversations are discovery conversations too. Like, or when you're about ready to list the property, say, hey, listen, are you open to seller financing? Oh yeah, I'm totally fine. Okay, let me tell you what this means. And this is as you start doing more deals, you're not going to have to worry about the situation that you have, because those are so new and brand new, right? So now you just take this and you say, this is the best knowledge you can possibly get. The next time that you talk to a seller and you go, hey, listen, I love putting seller financing down, because people will, if you don't put that down, someone may click that on the search, and we can make our own terms of it. What is the best terms for you? But here, let me tell you how this works. And then you go into, hey, when we close, like, your commission comes out of that, right? So I think you're going to have to be, as you are growing as a broker, you're going to have those conversations up front, and you won't have to worry about the back side of it.
I would even, I agree with you. I would even structure it though, as if there's 3 parties. There's, look, I'm going to take 60K. Therefore, I would recommend that we say to the potential buyer, 100K down, 100K loan, 200K owner finance.
Yeah, so that's what these are the things I've thought about, but I was thinking like, man, that would be emotional for me if I wasn't like prepared from that from the beginning.
Stole my money. That's what I would be thinking. No, I would say, like, most businesses sell owner financing 50% down for that reason. 50.
Yeah, because they want that initial capital.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you can also say, hey, listen, like if he's putting 100K down, you'd be like, hey, he's open to it as long as you can put my commission down also. So that's 60 grand. So they are getting 100 grand, and so they're putting 160. So you just make the buyer put that down, and that comes off the sales price, obviously. But then you can kind of work with that, like, hey, you're gonna have to pay if you only want to put $100,000 down. He's fine with that, but you're gonna have to pay my commission. So he is putting more down, but he's gonna have to pay my commission also. So
Right.
does that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
Structure with that also.
Yeah. good
There's
point.
so many ways seller financing you can structure, which is, there's things is like, hey, what does the seller feel comfortable doing? Because I know we've been sellers that are like, dude, yeah, I want 5 grand. I'm gonna retire in 5 grand check every month.
Well, the business that the marketing firm business wants to get owner financing to get paid for the next 5 years to avoid taxes. So they're willing to accept 50 grand down for the next, and then 5-year, 10-year loan for the sake of that. They're just going to extend their job. for
Dude, I
10
might
years.
do that.
Yeah. So, well, man, I'm out.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Yeah. I'm
See
going
y'all
to
in
take some
220.
time off.
See you in 25.
Yeah.
And then we'll really start hammering it in with get you guys set up on the new Zillow BizBroker Plus.
BizBroker Plus. It's sick to think about. It's when you guys see it, you're gonna be like, yeah, this looks familiar. Obviously with a little bit better features.
Yeah,
But
it's just all geared towards BizBroker. I mean, business brokering,
Mhm.
opposed to there's nothing like that. I think that it looks way better than Biz by
Yeah.
Sell.
Yeah.
It's so much easier.
Mhm.
And you guys are going to have the control of it way more. Like you guys are going to be in control.
Yeah.
And that's what I love too, is they giving you guys that control to be business owners, that you're not relying on us, there'll be support with all that stuff too, but it's actually pretty cool.
for sure.
And you already did a listing. It was pretty easy, right?
Yeah.
It was easier in Biz by
It's
Sell.
easier business, yeah. A lot less red tape.
A lot
Yeah,
less red tape. Yeah, it's like, we're gonna let anyone list. Let's go.
Yeah.
And then we get a bunch of users on there, and then
Well, if you get 30 listings on there, it's like $1,200 a month. It's crazy expensive. So, I mean, and we're gonna have that partnership with Biz by Sell for the bridge, but eventually $499 to listen limited.
Yeah.
Then that's, good luck.
yeah,
That's all I gotta say.
it's like
Yeah.
anybody's listening.
It's all BizQuest is just a mirror of Biz by Sell.
Yeah,
It's literally an AI integration mirror to what, where ours is gonna be authentic.
so maybe we can just do an AI integration of ours for something else too.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we'll see you in 25.
Hey man, appreciate it. Thanks for all the info and looking forward to
Uh,
25.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, if you guys can, if you're in the area, Walk of Lights Toy Drive tomorrow, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. I have characters. I have the Grinch. I have Elf. I have the Conductor. I have Santa Claus. I have Home Alone. I have every cookies, courtesy of Dickie's Barbecue. Dutch Bros will be giving free hot chocolate away. We have toys, prizes. Just bring a toy. It's gonna go all Dell's Children's Hospital. There's my plug for the day. All right.
Where's this at, Travis?
This is my place.
Oh.
If you go online and you do Christmas Walk of Lights Toy Drive
Yeah.
on Facebook, you can't miss it. It's got a big globe on it, and this is our 5th time we've done it, and it's absolutely gonna be insane this year. So
But I think it's
Okay.
my 3rd year of a different company being there. So.
well, you're staying at this one. I'll see you guys later.